Yeah. So you're Coach Little Joe, you're IFBB pro. So you're like bigger than Bradley Martyn.
Well, yeah, I've been bigger than him for a while, man. He's not even that big, really. Like, he's just
You're listening to the baddest show on the planet. Get your money right, get your game right, and everything in between. This is the Bad Hombre Podcast.
Stand up.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Yeah, you're like one of the biggest guys I know. You're probably one of the biggest guys in Ottawa too.
yeah, like pretty much, yeah. There's one other pro in the area, that's Ian Valliere. He just retired like last year, so like he's a little bit smaller now. But yeah, like the only active bodybuilding pro in the area I got at the moment.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anyone else right now.
So can you beat Bradley Martyn? No.
Huh?
You think you beat me in a street fight?
You in a street fight?
Yeah.
You're a podcaster, brother.
I love it. So the answer is then yes, yeah?
But okay, so he's walking around because he's 260. I'm 280, but I'm fat, right? My body fat is probably like 20% or whatever, more than that. But I mean, as a big guy, I think he helps. But I also train MMA.
Yeah.
And I've had like a 15-year-old little like 150-pound dude put me on a pretzel, like. So I've been humbled. So like, do you think like do you think he's onto something there with the size and the fight, or?
I don't know, man. Like I feel like when it comes to fighting versus like bodybuilding, it's totally different, like types of strength, right? Because like bodybuilding, yeah, you can be strong in the gym at like certain lifts that you're doing, but like not all of that really translates to real life, especially not when it comes to like MMA. Like it's totally different. Like I'm not an idiot. Like I know like a guy half my size could whoop my ass easily, especially someone who's a black belt in like jiu-jitsu or something else. So
that's coming soon, by the way.
Yeah.
yeah, we're doing that. We're doing. Stay tuned, guys.
That, man.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to like get into like more MMA style training ever since I was a teenager, but like my parents were totally against it, so I just like ended up getting into bodybuilding instead. Yeah. And kind of went from there, but yeah, it's always been something I've liked. Like I always like watching the UFC fights and things like that. So I've always been interested in it and respected it. And like not one of those like delusional meathead guys that's like thinks because he's big he can beat one of these fucking guys in a fight. And I'm like, you're an idiot if you think that, man, because this is like it's a totally different world.
Yeah, but like you get a full sense of confidence because like you look at yourself and then you look at Conor McGregor who's like 100 whatever 50 60 pounds and you're like, I could take this guy, and it's like, no, bro. You can't get through. They're so fast.
No, it's not even close.
It's so expensive to walk around with that kind of muscle too, right? For your body, for your breathing and cardio. Like it's.
Yeah, man. It's like you have terrible cardio usually. Like in comparison, like if I went in to train MMA, I'd be gassed super quick. Yeah. It's like even like I have people like friends. They'll ask me to help them move, and I'm like the worst person to ask. You're asking me. I'm gonna be gassed in like 5 minutes after like carrying a fucking bookcase down the stairs or something, like it's not practical for everyday life to be like 270 280 or like that heavy in muscle. So like the guy that's half my size is going to be way more cardiovascular like endurance wise than like me, and I know that's why I'm like I still keep up with cardio just so I can so I can function and health wise too, because like you can actually like go in the opposite direction if you're too heavy and you're not like looking after that. So that's why like I have huge respect for guys that do MMA, because like the type of endurance you need to do that is like next level.
But when you guys are holding poses, like that looks fucking hard. People don't realize because you're like dehydrated. You're I don't know, like what, like walk me through that. What's like the day before, like it's a lot of mental toughness. Yeah,
because you got to go through like a course of like processes, like getting ready for a show. So typically you'll see people diet for like, they're going to diet for like 4 months. And when I say diet, I mean like you're in a calorie deficit for the majority of that time. You're doing cardio, you're training, you're practicing your posing. So it's like, and you're eating super strict. So it's like your whole day pretty much like the majority of your day is dedicated to getting ready for a show. And especially like, getting ready to those last days, like your body's super depleted, you're tired, you're hungry. And then you got to dial things in, and like in the posing aspect, especially on stage, like it definitely is fatiguing, but it's like anything else, like your training or cardio, whatever. It's like when you start to do it more regularly and you're practicing it, you get better at it. But like when you first start posing, it's like you first started working out, because like it's completely new to you. It's like doing a new workout or something you haven't tried before, and you're gonna be so gassed and like sweating buckets just from trying to hold poses, because you literally have to like tense every muscle in your body to like hit these poses when you're doing that on stage, and you're holding them for like, doesn't sound like a long time, but you're holding that for like, 15, 20 seconds straight, and then doing like every other pose you got to do. I think there's like, in total like 7 or 8 poses that you have to do.
Jesus.
And you're going through rounds of like posing depending on how competitive the show is. So like doing that when you've been like, dehydrated, dieting for months, and, pushing all these extremes, and even saying it right now, it is pretty crazy to do it. But yeah, you have to have a different level of like discipline and mindset to kind of like even want to do that. And I think you have to be a little crazy, a little like fucked up to want to do that, because like why would you want to do that? Because like me this year, like I decided not to compete and just to like focus more on my business and everything, and then get back on stage next year after giving my body a break. And I'm like seeing everybody that like prepping for shows and that, and I'm like, man, y'all are fucking crazy. And I'm like, I know I'm crazy too, because I've done it for like over a decade. Yeah. But I'm like, it's funny to like kind of step back for a minute and be able to like see other people doing it. And you're like, fuck, man, I don't know why you're doing this, but I'm like, yo, that's crazy. Because like even being someone that's done it, like you can still like step outside and look at other people doing it, and you're just like, shit, like, how much work that takes. So you got to like have that respect for it, and give props where it's due, kind of thing.
Would you say that's like 50-50 mind and body, or is it? I personally, bro, I've been around it. I've never been in it, but I've been around it because working at gyms, I work at a supplement store for a while. So like I was always around it. Like I used to work at any time for like Monday to Friday, and then at the supplement store Saturday and Sunday. So I'm around that environment. I'm doing samples. I'm going to gym, setting up a table, giving people like BCA samples, and I used to do that, right? And so obviously in growing up, bro, like Arnold, for me, my bodybuilder fucking hero at the time was Frank McGrath. Like that's who I wanted to look like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which I feel bad. He's getting a new kidney pretty soon, or kidney transplant. So shout out to Frank. But the mental aspect, bro, that part I couldn't do, man. I could go train. Back then, when I was in my early 20s, I could do 2-3 hours a day, 2 a days. I could do the cardio, the mindset, bro, the eating, and the mental. I couldn't do it. That's the part I couldn't do, man. And that's why I respect you guys to do it, man. It's not just it's not just picking heavy shit off the ground and do reps and put it down. It's the whole life is around that, bro.
No, and it's really true, man. Like I think initially, like a lot of people, they get into like bodybuilding, and they, if you're just training to look good for yourself, that's one thing. Yeah. Like I feel like that takes a certain level of discipline on its own, but like to train to look like basically as muscular as you can look, as lean as you look, and then get on stage like with a spray tan and basically wearing nothing, like competing against other people, it's like a totally different level of like, pushing those limits. And I feel like you don't really realize the mental side of it takes until you actually start prepping for a show. Because I remember the first time I prepped for a show, I was just like, okay, like, I'd seen a bodybuilding show, and I was like, okay, I really want to do that. And I had taken 2 years to kind of like try and get ready, like get more size, and then, cut down for the show.
How old were you?
I was 20 when I did that. So when I was 18, I saw my first show, and then took 2 years from there to kind of like try to put on more muscle so I'd be like competitive enough. And I like realized as I was dieting for that show, that was probably like the most like, mentally challenging thing I had done, like that I felt like I've done before, because I was like, I was in college, so I was like going to school, and I was going to work.
That's the hard part.
And I was like, living in like a friggin' like ghetto ass room in a house with like a bunch of other random people, because I was living on my own. So I was like doing all that and like taking the bus everywhere and doing all this, and I'm like, I realized I was like, shit, like I must really want to do this, because any other person, sane person, would be like, why the fuck are you doing this? You know what I mean? So that kind of made me realize like the mental toughness you would need, you know, to be able to do it. And I kind of developed more, you know, that discipline and that mindset that came with it. Cause obviously bodybuilding has a certain level of, you know, genetics that goes with it too. Like you have to have a certain amount of genetics to do well at it.
Yeah. Do you feel you have,
what's that?
Do you feel you have good genetics, or you're?
I think I have pretty good genetics for bodybuilding. Like I do put on muscle like fairly easily compared to the average person. So I feel like I did, you know, I didn't realize it when I started though. I just like wanted to do it. And then like you realize later that you're like, okay, yeah, I definitely responded pretty well to putting on muscle compared to like the average person, especially now. Like I've worked with, you know, hundreds of different like bodybuilding clients and, you know, seeing how their bodies change over time. And I'm like, if I compare myself to the average, I'm like, yeah, it's definitely above, you know, what the average would be. I'm not like on the level of someone like a Phil Heath or a Jay Cutler, but definitely above the average like genetics when it comes to muscle building.
I could see like the Jay Cutler resemblance a little bit. You probably get that. Is that who you get the most? You know how people always compare? Like,
yeah, I get the Jay Cutler one a lot, especially because the way my quads look.
Yeah,
like I had a similar like quad structure,
very wide, very like,
and then like more like just like a wider frame look and everything. So I've had like the Jay Cutler comparisons, probably the most. I feel like that's like the one I've gotten the most like when I've been competing.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah.
I can see it, man. Would you say it's like mentally or physically it's like even 50-50 for the sport, or what's like, is it like an 80-20 split? It's a crazy sport, man.
Yeah, like I don't know, man. I feel like it is like 50-50 in a sense, because like, you know, you got to be like, you know, you got to be physically able to do it, but like at the same time, like if your mind's not in it, like you're not going to see the results, right? So like, because I've definitely had times in like, you know, different years where I was just like, I was more, you know, focused on it than others. And I always know like the years where I was like very regimented with it, like, you know, prepping for shows and, you know, making sure that I'm like in a really good routine, like day in, day out. You see way better results that way. And like the years where I was kind of like, you know, mentally, you know, you weren't as in it, then, you know, the end result kind of reflected that. So I was like, I kind of realized like even early on, I was just like, yeah, like if I'm not going 100%, like when I'm prepping for a show, then I know the end result isn't going to be there, you know? So even on those days when you're like, you know, you're already sore, you feel sleep deprived, like whatever it is, you got to get up, you got to do your cardio, you got to get your food in, you got to train, do this and that. And it's like, you literally just have to like kind of like talk, like do that self-talk and like self-motivation to like get yourself to do it. Cause you know, like, you know, if you don't do it, then you're gonna be kicking yourself being like, man, why didn't I just, you know, get up at like 5 a.m. or whatever it is to like get that cardio in, do this, do that. And you realize like you're like developing more resilience towards like what most people would be like, you know, it's too hard or I don't have time, and you're just like, nah, fuck it, I'll get up an hour earlier, then I have time and I can, you know, get it in. Because like even being a pro bodybuilder, like most pro bodybuilders still have an actual job to some degree, like whether they coach or training or whatever else it is. So it's like you got to like structure everything around like working and stuff too, right? It's not just, you know, like other sports where it's like you can literally just do that. And there are some pros that can do that, but like in bodybuilding, it's still not really a mainstream sport. So like not a lot of guys get like contracts where they're able to live completely off that. That's usually like maybe like 10 pros out of like.
Do you think that's going to get worse, or do you think it'll ever be?
I think, well, like, I think the biggest reason it's not is because of like all the, you know, there's a lot of like, you know, performance enhancing drugs used, right? Not that that's not used in any sport, but with bodybuilding, it's so apparent because of the way people look versus other sports. It's more performance based, right? So it doesn't look as like,
I think
not
it's
such an eye,
now,
like an eye thing, you know?
It's not as taboo as it used to be, though.
No, not now, because like now it's like there's a lot more people doing things like TRT, and it's become more like commonplace. So it's like if someone's doing a little more than TRT, like people aren't as like freaked out by it, but there's still, I'd say like there's still a good chunk of the general public that like, if they see a bodybuilder, the first thought is like, oh, steroids, like,
but it's like,
they don't think like, oh, that guy goes to the gym like 3 hours a day and like fucking eats like 6 meals a day and does all this other things. Like,
you got to work harder when you're on steroids though.
Yeah, you could, like, it's true, because like you literally can work harder on steroids because like your body's recovering faster, so it's like you can literally do more than you could naturally. So it's like, it's not really just like a secret trick. It's like, this is enabling you to work harder so you can get more results. Really,
it's enhancing your performance.
100%. Yeah. Literally.
That's man. I don't know, man. Sometimes I'm like, was the peak, that Jake Cutler, what's the guy's name?
Ronnie Coleman?
No, Phil Heath.
Phil Heath,
was that the peak, or was it the Kai Green, Phil Heath? I don't think a lot of people know after Phil Heath who won, who's the top guy. Now I don't know, maybe because I'm not involved like as much. Like, but I don't feel like, bro, like the Kai Green, Phil Heath, when they were pushing each other, everybody, I don't care who you were, that was like everybody knew. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Because I think the biggest thing, like a guy like Kai Green, like he's become more mainstream, right? So like people know him. So it's like that rivalry between him and Phil was like, it was a big thing for a few years, and it made bodybuilding exciting. And the other thing is like, Phil was the last guy to win like multiple years in a row. Like he won 7 years in a row.
That's crazy.
And since him, it's been kind of like flip-flopping every year or so, like a new champ. So it's like the only guy who got 2 in a row or more than 1 in a row since Phil is Big Ramy. I think he won in 2020 and 21.
That guy's huge.
Yeah, and that guy's a monster.
Is that the biggest guy's ever been?
Is he like, I would say the biggest, Coleman? Like probably one of the biggest. Like Ronnie Coleman was massive too, right? So like Big Ramy's probably one of the biggest guys on stage for sure. Like, as he competes like nearly 300 pounds. There's probably been guys that have like technically been bigger, but it's like there's like a difference is like, how the physique actually looks at that weight, right? Because some guys are big, but like it doesn't look the same as like someone who has a nicer shape. So I think Ramy's got one of the craziest physiques. Like
how big was Rich compared to these guys?
Wow, Rich was just
in real life though, like on stage. I know proportional. Rich was just, and they wouldn't win anything.
He was a pretty big dude. I think I saw him at the Arnold Expo once, and like he's pretty tall. Like he's like over 6 foot, and like he was definitely a big guy, like upper body and everything. But like it's also like a lot of like from me looking at him, it's like his arms and his shoulders are huge, but like the rest of him isn't really as huge. So like, legs obviously, and like back and chest wasn't really massive on him, but like the guy had like some of the craziest friggin' arms you could ever see.
That's
but
crazy.
Like,
Could you do this sport while working another job, or like, is this one of those things where you have to be to be the best at the sport, you have to be a practitioner of the sport and also work in the sport?
Not necessarily, man. Like, I think it just depends on the person. Like, I've always, like, my whole life, I've been involved in sports since I was a kid. And
you play hockey or football, or what did you?
Yeah, I played hockey, field lacrosse, competitive swimming. I did long distance running before I got too heavy, and then what else? Like, I think I played soccer too.
I couldn't picture you doing long distance running right now.
No, man. I was like, when I was good at it, I was like 145 pounds.
Yeah.
That was like when I went into grade 9. And then like, once I started like working out a bit, then it was like, I was too heavy, man. Like as soon as I was like 175, I was like, I can't fucking do this anymore.
That's crazy, man.
But it was cool. Like I used to love running when I was that young, man. Like I'd run like every day.
Man. Oh shit. Hold on. So okay, 19-year-old kid is watching this, motivated, wants to compete. Like, what's the first step? Like the very first thing he does? He's got a gym membership. That's where he's at right now.
If you're that age, like I think the biggest thing then is just start training. Following a diet, like things like that. Like it doesn't even have to be like you having an exact like macros and all this. Like I feel like a lot of people like nowadays it's like they're trying to do too much too soon, and like literally just start with the basics. Like start going to the gym and like do a bro split to start. Just do like push pull legs kind of thing. Like do like get into a routine with your training. Start to understand your body. Start eating enough eat enough protein. for the day. Like, so if you're, say you're 150 pounds, just try and eat about 150 grams of protein, easy, like gram per pound of body weight kind of thing. And then just like try and figure out what works for you. Depending on the person, like you could, hire a coach, just to learn and understand that better. Cause a lot of people now will, outreach like that for someone like for professional help, like to like guide them in the right direction.
Would you take a green pea?
Yeah, man. Like I work with like people like all different types and like different age brackets. So, I would take someone that's completely new to it. Like, cause I have worked with people, not necessarily even that young, like they're in their, late 20s, early 30s, and they're completely new to, competing and all this, like even working out, some of them. So like, I've worked with people like that are older that are just getting into it. So it's like same type of process. I just feel like when they're older, they're more likely to invest in something like a coach because they're going to understand the value better. Like someone who's 19 might not, but it just depends on the individual and like, what they can afford and everything else. Cause like getting into bodybuilding seriously is obviously going to be more expensive, just eating the food and like, and everything else compared to like the average person's diet, especially like higher protein intake. But like my biggest advice would just be like, like learn as much as you can, like whether it's like watching YouTube or like things on social media. Cause like with like everything that's out there nowadays, like you could literally just like spend time every day and learn, and like there's a lot of good content out there and there's a lot of good people that you can follow. Like myself, who just like, they post videos, whether it's educating about, exercises, nutrition, like PEDs and all that other stuff. So it's like, all right, what's up guys? All right. So, Little Joe. So 11 days out. All right. Are we doing an intro now? All right, guys. Of course, if you haven't hit that red button and subscribed yet, make sure you do that and subscribe now. You have this like abyss or whatever you want to call it of like knowledge that you can learn. So it's like there's so much you can continue to learn, and I think that's the biggest thing is just like learning and then establishing some consistency with your workouts and nutrition, and then kind of like focus on just like improving yourself the first couple of years at least, before you even give like competing a thought. Because it's like even if you want to compete, you should fall in love with the process of like just going to the gym, just training, just like following a regime and everything like that before you take that next step. Because I feel like if a lot of people are like, oh, I'm going to start going to the gym because I want to compete, or I'm going to start this because I want to compete, blah, 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 I feel like you're going to fall off track. You have to start doing it just because like you want to look better, you want to look a certain way. You're doing it for yourself. You're not doing it just to get on a stage, because like at the end of the day, you're only going to compete like a certain portion of your life, and like you want to make like bodybuilding, health and fitness, all that like a a long-term thing in your life, not just like I'm going to do this for a few years and that's it, because like I know myself, like even when I'm older, like I'm still going to train, I'm still going to have that lifestyle, even if I'm not competing. It might not be quite as big, but like, still the same lifestyle,
Do you find that, do you like coaching better than competing, or what do you like better?
Honestly, man, like I don't really like getting on stage. Like that's the worst part, to be honest, because I'm like, you're literally, you have a friggin' spray tan that you have to be like super careful with, and not like.
What's the tan for?
The tan's because you're on these like, you're under the stage and they're under these bright lights, right? So it's like kind of like I don't know if you can relate to this, but it's just like for me, like anytime I have a bit of a tan when I'm like getting leaner, it's like you look even leaner because it adds that contrast, right? So like when you're on stage, the lights are so bright that you need like a dark spray tan. That way it shows the details in your physique better. So you have to get this like crazy dark spray tan, and then you're up there in like these tiny ass posing trunks. And it's either like fucking too hot or too cold or something, right? So it's like and it's like a lot of like hurry up and wait, like so they're like you're just like sitting around waiting to go on stage. So for me, like the actual process of like getting on stage is my least favorite part. My favorite part is the process of getting ready, like putting the work in, seeing your body change, the training and like dieting, just pushing your body and your mind to a new limit. That's the part that I actually like. The light that I like is the process. The end part of getting on stage, I'm like, I'm like, that's kind of like your walk to get your diploma. You're like, okay, I did all this work. Now just
true, that's so
give
true.
Give me that friggin' award now, So it's like, you want to make sure you get the award, so you got to do the process, right?
Yo, how do you? Like that one, I can never do it, bro. I don't picture myself being on stage on just posing trunks
That's why I said, man, you
showing
gotta be,
everybody, like, there's like girls, my friend, my mom, my girl, my ex-girl, like,
yeah,
like what?
everybody
How does
came
that
out to see
feel? It's crazy, bro.
That's why I say, man, like you gotta be like, and like I've heard Jay Cutler say this a bunch of times. He's like, you gotta be a little messed up, you gotta be a little crazy, like to want to do this. Because like when you think about it too, and like for me, like I'm someone who, you know, I like smoking weed. So whenever I'm like, I smoke weed at night, I'll be like sitting there thinking about things, and like I start thinking about bodybuilding, and I'm like, man, this shit is so weird. Like, you know, I'll be like telling my girl, I'm like, this is so weird. Like, why do I do this? But then like you love it at the same time. But
Yeah.
Getting back to your actual question, like about like, do I like competing better or coaching? Like honestly, man, like I feel like at this point, like I've done this for a while, so I feel like I still love to compete and I still like have that competitive drive.
Yeah.
But I think I get more out of coaching people because like, you know, as you get like a little bit older, you're like, okay, like you're not like as selfish as you are when you're younger. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like for me, it's like when you're younger, it's more like the selfish, like me, like I want to win, I want to do this, blah, blah, blah. Now it's like, okay, like I want to like see how many people I can help succeed too, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, if I work with, you know, can work with like hundreds of different people, even thousands,
Yeah.
you know, that would be amazing to like say like, you know, I help transform their lives, not just like their physique, but like, you know, mentally too, and like help them get to a level where they're like, you know, just transforming their own lives, not just in bodybuilding, but in like, you know, their work life, personal life, whatever. Cause like, that's one of the things I've taken away from it is, it has like a trickle effect in other areas of your life. When you have that kind of discipline with something, it's going to help your, you know, your business, like whatever you're doing work wise, it can help your personal life and, you know, just all around. Like, I feel like it can create, you know, a really great thing if you do it wisely, you know, and you're not doing it just for like the selfish like reasons, you know.
Plus, me personally, like I do coaching for business, and I learn better when I teach, man. Like you get to a certain level when you practice, we're a practitioner, like you get to a level, but to transcend that level, you only get there when you start teaching it for some reason, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you got better by teaching?
I think 100%, because like you come across different people, like whether it's, you know, in my coaching realm of like dealing with like bodybuilders and people that like want to change their physiques, or, you know, in business, because it's like everybody's, you know, whether it's physique wise, they have different genetics, they have different body types, they have different like, you know, age brackets they're in, they could have injuries they've dealt with, whatever. It's like, you know, everybody's a little bit different. So it's like you see a lot of different things, and it forces you to like not only learn more, but just like know how to approach like different people and how to talk to different people, because like not everybody's personality is the same, and you know how they need to, you know, be approached or be spoken to is going to be a little bit different too. So I think it does like force you to be better by like working with like more and more people through like, you know, a coaching aspect.
Well, one of the things I like about you, which is I mean, a lot of people will kill to be in this position, is that you make a living doing this, man. Like, I don't think you hate your job. I think it could get monotone sometimes, but it's, you build your own life. Like you're not answering to anybody. I mean, you always, I mean, I am my own boss now, but my clients are my boss. I have to answer to them, but it's not like I have a guy like, Chris, what are you doing to? Man, I'm curious, you know, for you, your business part of it, getting that first client, people, was it like a natural thing where like, you know, you become really good at doing it and people ask you for advice and you just start coaching people, or you knew you wanted to build a business out of this?
Honestly, like I feel like it's one of those things I sort of like almost like fell into, because I was, you know, good at the bodybuilding side of things. Like when I was in my early 20s, like I was doing personal training, and then like through that because I had already competed for a couple of years before I even started personal training. And I feel like from there, that's when I had like people like coming up to me asking me for help, like whether it was like they wanted like nutrition help, like getting ready for a show, things like that. So it's like I had people starting to ask me for that. So I kind of started after I'd been personal training for a couple of years, that's when I started to like kind of shift into, you know, having a few people that I kind of coached like in that regard, that was just like online, whatever. And then when I was like about, I was 23 or 20, I think I was 23 was when I actually moved to like the Ottawa area, because I was from the GTA.
From where?
Like, I was in Oshawa, man.
Oshawa, you
Dirty Schwa.
love Oshawa, man.
But yeah, like I moved out here because I was like dating somebody. And so I decided when I moved, I was like, at the time I was working for Good Life, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to scrap Good Life. I'm just going to try and do this coaching thing and see how that goes. And at the time, I think I had like maybe like, honestly, I probably had like 7 or 8 clients. Like I didn't have a lot of clients. I didn't have a ton of business, and I was only charging like I think I was charging like $150 to $200 a month. So it's just like I didn't have that much money coming in, man. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna like go full throttle on this shit and like try and like build up my clients more. And I think I was able to, you know, within like 6 months or so from then, I was able to get up to about 20 clients, which was like decent, right? Because I was just from like, you know, getting to a new area, people seeing you're a bodybuilder and like this and that, and like I started like, you know, just communicating with more people at the gym, and you know, just
all organic.
Yeah, and just posting. I started posting on social media and stuff, and I started to get more clients. And then you know, between that and like I was working like part-time at a supplement store, you know, I was able to like, you know, to live, right?
Yeah.
And then it was funny because like, you know, flash forward a little bit further, like 6 months later, I'm not working at the supplement store anymore, and I was just doing the coaching. I think I had about 30 clients, and I was like, okay, I can live off that. Like, you know, because this is like for like 7, 8 years ago now. So it's like, you know, if I'm charging $200 a month, have like 30 clients, $6,000 a month, I'm like, you can live off that, right? Yeah. Especially 7 years ago. Now it's like a little bit tighter, but like with the inflation. But yeah, back then.
But to have that and to have the freedom to work out, that's the part.
That's what I wanted though, man, is because like I was like, I want to do coaching, not only because I
you build that for you, man,
but like I wanted to do it because I was like, I wanted the freedom to be able to do my own thing with like the training and the bodybuilding for myself. Yeah. So I was like, I want to get a pro card. So I'm like, I want to turn pro, do this and that. So I was like, I need a job where I'm like, it's not a real job, you know, like I'm like, I can do emails and like talk to people whenever, and then I can still go to the gym and still do my cardio, still get all my meals in, you know. So I started doing that and like fully in like 2016. And then just like stuck with it from there. Like I never really had another job outside of like coaching since then, right? So like
just entrepreneurship.
That's all I've been doing, like pretty much.
That's really cool.
Like I moved to Ottawa, and that was like my jump to like, okay, like I didn't want to like, you know, I didn't really want to work for somebody else, because I'm just like, man, like I was sick of like after Good Life, man, like I was just like, I couldn't do that again. So like even now, like I do some personal training because I'm not in prep this year, so I have the time. But even then, it's just like I do it at like a gym like 613, where it's like I'm not working
613.
Exactly, yeah, best gym in Ottawa. But I do it there, and like I'm able to like, you know, train clients there like whenever I want to, and like the owner's cool with it. Like I don't have to like, you know, be working for the gym necessarily. I can just be like an independent person coming in, training some clients, you know, and have like a deal with like the owner to do that. And like that's the best thing for me. Like I can't go back to that full-time aspect because for one, like personal training on a full-time basis, man, like it's the same as working a 9 to 5. You have no freedom, right? So like I still like having that freedom with my life, like to be able to, you know, go out of town for a weekend, or just like, you know, adjust your schedule. So like at 2 p.m. in the middle of the day, you can do a podcast.
Correct. Yeah.
Things like that, where it's just like you can set your day up and do the things you want to do. Yeah. And still like accomplish your goals, whether it's like personal, like business, and everything in between. And I feel like, you know, like I mean,
you earned it because you did so much work to get to where you are, bro. You know what I mean? Like here's the thing, man. Like sometimes you wake up and you're like, this is my life. Life's so cool, man. Like I do whatever I want. I don't have. What do you mean? What do you mean I can't do that on a Saturday? Like I don't have to answer anybody. Well, I have to move clients around, or whatever. But and then people are like, "Oh, you're just lucky." And it's like, no, you don't wake up like this. Like the days, in your case, the days that you trained when you didn't want to, you ate when you wanted to cheat, you said no to going out. That's what got you here today. For me, it was business, right? The Sundays that I was doing that free Grant Cardone seminar for 6 hours, I could have gone out, but I didn't. I just immersed myself in it.
Yeah,
And
you're
now,
like a different. It's like a different breed.
It's a
man.
different
Like,
breed of people, man. It's a bad hombre,
People
bro.
that can do that are just different. Because like
You're a bad hombre, bro.
you're just different. Because like even then, like you have that freedom, but at the same time, you're just like, okay, like. Well, how much more can I do? You know, like
Yeah.
you're like trying to challenge yourself. You're just like, okay, how can I make this better? And it's like, even if your business is good, you're just like, yeah, but how can I make it better?
And it's not always about the money either.
No, it's not, man. It's more about just like, it could
impact.
just be about like, you know, trying to impact more people or
Yeah.
trying to like structure it. So you're just like, hey, I want more free time, but I want to keep my income the same, like whatever, you know?
Yeah.
Like there's different things. And it's just like always trying to like, think of ways to improve. And I feel like every day, like that's something that motivates me is just like, okay, how can I make this better than it is?
Yeah.
And like, you know, just like continue to progress, because like I feel like when you get too stagnant and you're like too comfortable with where you're at, like, you know, whether it's like financially or just like with your everyday life, it's like, you know, you get complacent and then you kind of get lazy.
Yeah.
And like that's things I've like caught myself in periods of time where I'm just like, oh, I'm good with this for a bit. And then you're like, okay, no, like you can't be like that, because then you start to get lazy on things.
Right.
And it's just like has a trickle effect. So I like to be able to like catch myself, be like, nah, like you got to keep setting goals. Like it could be something super simple. Like, okay, I'm going to get up like at X time every day. Like whether that's like 5, 6, whatever time it is, doesn't matter. But it's just like keeping that regiment.
crazy.
And I feel like that's the thing is like a lot of people don't think of is like, even if you know, work for yourself, run your own business, you're still regimented to an extent.
Yeah,
You're
bro.
still, you have to be, you know, like
It's like I left my 9 to 5 to work 24/7.
literally, man. Like I've had people that would be like, oh man, must be nice. And I'm just like, must be nice. I'm like, I'm the one like working like fucking like 14 hours a day instead of working like 8. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, and then the time when I'm not working out, not working, I'm like, I'm trying to train, or I'm trying to do like trying to fit in something like, you know, to do with like your social life or whatever. And it's like, people don't get it when they think like, oh yeah, it must be nice to work for yourself. Must be nice, this and that. And I'm like, is it nice, or is it just like, it looks cool on the outside, but on the inside, you're like, okay, like it requires a lot more work to keep that going, you know?
Yeah, man. I've had those comments. Must be nice, man. Like, you know, I don't make what you do. I don't, or like, I can't do that because I don't have the skills you did. I'm like, oh yeah, because I was born like out of my mom, like learning how to do this shit. Never mind the fucking books. Do you watch the Raptors last week? Yeah. Okay, I didn't, bro. Because you know what I was doing? I was fucking like watching a 3-hour Indian guy on YouTube teaching me how to do like Python or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's there. We have the same 24 hours. And then I feel short. I'm like, okay, well, how the fuck is Elon Musk like? There's so much like levels to this. You know what I mean?
And people don't realize how much time
it.
they waste too, because like people are like scrolling on their phones all the time.
That's the big one.
And I know, like for me, like there's certain parts of the day where it's like my phone's on D&D, man. Like I go to the gym, if I'm working out, my phone's on D&D. Like there's only like 1 or 2 people that are like important in a sense, you know, like whether that's your like girlfriend, like someone like a parent, like family member that like maybe they're not on D&D. But other than that, like I keep everybody else on D&D, because I'm like, whatever that is, like hour and a half, 2 hours I'm in the gym, like I'm just focused on my thing, right? I'm like the rest of the day, you know, business, this and that. But even still, like same thing with what you're saying. It's just like, no, I didn't see that, or I didn't go to this or do that. And like from me, like competing for so many years, there's so many like holidays, dinners, like all these things that I missed out on.
Yeah, man.
Because you're like doing shows. Like I specifically remember one year, like almost every year for like almost like 10 years, I was like never able to like go to like an Easter dinner thing, like, or I'd go, but I couldn't actually have the dinner.
Stuff,
like for like my parents and stuff. Cause like, it was like, I was always prepping for shows, always dieting. So I couldn't eat the food. And like, there's so many things like that where it's just like, either you're like too deep into a prep and you can't go because you're just like too depleted to like, you know, go through all that, and you're so focused on what you're doing.
And that's the approach, right?
Yeah.
It's not to say no when the food is in front of you. It's just to not even go in the first place.
Well, not necessarily. Like I still would like participate, but like say for example, like if you're like a week before a show and it's like let's say it's a major holiday like Christmas and you're competing a week after, like there's not usually shows that time of year, but I'm just using that as an example because people would understand. Yeah, like if it's a major holiday like that and you're like a week out of a show, like your body's so depleted. So it's like to be in that social setting, like you don't even have the, like for me, I don't even have the energy to be social. Yeah. So it's just like, I feel like I'm just going to be miserable around most people and not enjoy it at all. Plus I'm trying to like, obviously like you're in like such a box. Like I always say, like you got to be in a box to like get ready for a show. Cause it's just like, you're just focused on your own shit. You don't give a fuck about like, you know, all this other shit going on. You're just like, I don't give a fuck about who won this game or who did this or, you know, what's in the news. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm just doing my thing. I don't give a fuck.
Remember Arnold in the movie? I know it came out that he was fake, but when he was like,
when he said that, oh yeah,
my dad died. And
yeah, but it's true, man, to an extent. Like there's a lot of stuff you like put to the backside. You're just like, even like relationships, like I had a lot of, you know, relationships that went to shit because I was just like, I gotta put like my bodybuilding and my career first over like the relationship. And like obviously, like, you know, I can say it too. I'm like, yeah, like it's selfish, it is what it is, but like, man, that's a sacrifice you understandingly know. And it's like, I remember it was like a thing I heard Kobe say it before. Like he was talking about like, you know, all those things you miss like with your friends and your family, and it's just like, you know, they understand like what you're doing, right? So it's just like you do have that group of people where it's like they
don't hold it against you.
They don't hold it against you, but it's just like, you know, that it's just like you missing out on those things, like, you know, whether it's like, you know, a boys' weekend or things like that. It's just like, it can impact that friendship, right? So it's just like, you know, it's not going to be the same as where you left off if you like miss out on a bunch of things, you know. It's like you're still friends, but it's not quite the same. But you understand the sacrifice that comes with like trying to accomplish something, whether that's, you know, someone like Kobe and like being like you know, multiple time like NBA champion, or, you know, someone who's like prepping for like to be a pro bodybuilder, trying to be a pro bodybuilder, or
that's crazy,
you know, trying to like establish like a huge business, like whatever it could be. It's like there's sacrifices along the way, and like some people just aren't willing to, you know, sacrifice certain things in their life. And I'm not saying like sacrifice your relationship, but it's like, you know, sometimes you're gonna have to say, no, I can't, you know, watch Netflix with you tonight. I gotta work. You know, I gotta put the work in. I gotta do this, right?
Man, you know what I'm going through, bro.
Exactly.
But
man.
I'm doing it because I'm chasing other things. But yeah, man. It was very hard to do, because the easy thing is to watch the Netflix and to do stuff. But if we're not on the same frequency, I'm sorry, it's not gonna work, man. You know, and I don't want to get into what happened in my personal life, but like, if the discrepancy on where I want to be and the complacency of the person is down here, and for us to stay together, we have to bridge that gap. They have to bridge the gap. They have to come up. I can't come down that hard. You know what I mean?
Nah, man. Like you need someone that understands it. Like even like you need someone who has like, they don't have to be like, you know, on your level with like, oh, I want to like have all this, like, you know, whether it's business wise or whatever.
Yeah, of course.
Like they don't need to be like that, but as long as they understand it and they respect it and they like give you that, you know, ability to like put that extra work in, you know, it can work for sure. But like, there's not many people that are willing to, you know, to deal with that. Cause like, especially in relationships, it's like, they want your time. Right. So like, you know, but like for me, it's like, I feel like some things are just like, they feel so pointless. Yeah. Like when you're like, sometimes if you're like watching Netflix or like doing these things, you're just like, yeah, like I understand, like, you know, the it's like togetherness, but it's just like, I'd rather do something like more fun together. It's just like, you know, I put the work in and then like we can just take a weekend and go somewhere. We go on a trip or like, you know, something to look forward to. That's like more of a big thing than just like these like everyday things that are like, you know, they stack up, or it's just like you're just like wasting time, like I said, scrolling on your phone, watching Netflix. It's like, not saying don't do those things, but just like if you limit those things, it's crazy how much you can accomplish, like I know, you know, in your day. That's why I get back to the D&D on your phone. It's just like, honestly, unless you need your phone on for work, like put that shit on D&D and watch how much you get done outside of like, you know, those hours where you're like, oh, I don't have time, you know. It's like, imagine how much more time you'd have just not scrolling for no reason.
Hours a day.
Yeah. Because like I barely ever scroll for no reason. Like if I'm going on my phone, it's like, you know, I'm answering clients, I'm posting on social media, I'm doing something like productive usually, you know. I'm not really like just scrolling social media. So it's like people ask me like, oh, did you see this or see that? I'm like, no.
Well, you're using social media. It's not using you.
Exactly.
So like
I'm just using it to
players
to do
get paid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Spectators pay. Players get paid, and you're a player. So you have to be on it because you do your prospecting, you know. but you're not there mindlessly scrolling just for your own pleasure. I do that, bro. I'm guilty.
I feel like the only time I do that is when I'm taking a shit. Like, I'm gonna be real, but like,
No, I was just gonna say that, bro. And those shits take
those like 20 minutes, and you're like, fuck,
your
I gotta get
feet.
ready. Like, I gotta go.
your feet's like, no, you just gotta like,
You like
stand.
fucking, like, for me, it's like, I think this is funny because like I'll like have my hands on my, like, my elbows are on my thighs. You're sitting there, and I'm like, I know I've been there like 20 minutes because I get up, and then your elbows are like fucking red, and you're just like, fuck, this looks obvious. Someone's gonna know I did this.
And then you get up and like you can't move, bro. You gotta like let the
your
blood
legs are
flow.
fucking numb or something. You're like, fuck, man. How long was I there?
Yeah, bro. I have to like limp and go to the bed and just lay there for like a minute. I'm like, why do I always do this? I feel so guilty when I do this.
But that's like that's prime time. If
So every
you're
time you
scroll.
send me something funny, it's like because you're taking
Probably, yeah. Honestly, like I'm not really good at sending memes. Like I'm like the worst. I'm the person where it's like I have a lot of people that send me memes and shit, and I'm like, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I don't even actually watch them. I'll just like look at it and try to determine what emoji to put on it. So I'm just like, do I just like this? Do I think is it funny? Is it angry? Do I act shocked? I'm like, how the fuck do I respond? Because I'm like, fuck, I don't actually take the time to watch the video because I feel like I'm wasting my time.
We just realized I've been talking to myself on your inbox this whole time.
Yeah, I'm bad for that, man. I'm sorry. Like I know I have one of my buddies. He'll like send me like I swear like 10 memes a day.
There's those guys that.
And I'm like, and he knows straight up. Like I'm not watching half of them, man. Like he knows, but like he just sends them anyways because he's like he thinks they're so funny or something. And I'm like, bro, I'm sorry. I'm just like I don't have the time to dedicate to this. Like I don't know how you do it, but.
Hey man, you want to know a crazy stat? I think this came from the CEO or the founder of Instagram. I think he still works there because I know he got acquired by Facebook. But anyway, the stat is that you ask anybody like, where do you think people spend the most time? If you own Instagram, you would think that is the feed, right? Mm-hmm. Or the discovery feed. And no, most of the time on Instagram is spent on the chat, whether it's a group chat or on the actual conversation chat. Really? Yeah, it's a crazy stat. And they have there's another type of social media most people don't think, but that's the WhatsApp, like the videos on WhatsApp.
True.
Yeah, but so a lot of the stuff they're doing now, it's to push those group chats. That's why a lot of the stuff they're doing is the celebrities would have like this broadcast or like this group channels. You get invited to them. I don't know if you belong to any of them. Like.
No, those on Instagram?
Yeah, it's like they make like a group chat with their fans.
Yeah.
But you can't write anything, but they say in voice notes and stuff like.
Oh, yeah. I've seen some of those. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I've had a few guys that have, I don't know if you know who Antoine Valion is.
Yep.
Anyways, yeah, like he's a pro. He lives out in Burlington, I think. And like he had one of those, like he did one of those, like it's like a broadcast channel or whatever.
Yeah, broadcast channel.
Yeah, exactly. And like I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Like I'm just like, for me, like I feel like there's so many other things I'm already doing where I'm just like, man, I don't even know if I'd have like the time. Like I feel like it's one of those things where I just like I would need someone like posting for me.
Yeah, you have to
almost, you know, like I would need like someone creating the content for me to put on there, like even if it's just little videos in there, because I'm like I'm not going to be able to keep up with it.
No one does.
It is a cool concept though, because it's just like like people can't really respond, but it's just like it feels more personalized that you're like posting these things there instead of just posting them on your page directly. Kind of like this, I guess, like the subscription thing.
Yeah.
Because I have that, but it's just like, again, like I only had, I basically like, I don't really use it at this point because like I had like, at one point, I think I had like 10 people on there, which was cool.
Yeah.
But like, I'm just like, I got into a pattern where I'm just like, man, like I just don't have, like between posting on my normal page and then posting on the subscription, I was just like, I don't feel like I have enough good content to like keep it up. So I just like dropped the subscription price super cheap. So I'm like, if people started subscribing again, I'd start posting on it. But it's literally like, I think there's like 1 or 2 people on there. So it's just like,
you need a team, bro. This is what we try to do with school. It's like, we're going to have team account managers, the whole thing. And it's not like, oh yeah, it's just like once the Q&As a couple times a week. Answering questions is more like involved. Yeah. Because unless you're like a content creator, like I understand, for example, like I belong to the one with the UFC. And so like they'll send the fights, they'll send highlights, and shit like that is cool. But like or like tattoo artist.
Yeah.
like Anthony Black is one of the best guys in Ottawa, I think. And I go and I see his designs and shit, and it's fucking dope, you know. But there's so much, man. I know for like the top dogs, they spend just on people handling their inboxes on social medias and like the posts and engagement, $10,000 a month to have like 3-4 full-time staff. All their job is to make sure they do that, right? Which
is crazy, man. Yeah, because I like just having like people help me with like content like every couple weeks. I'm like, you could end up spending like, you know, like $1,000 a month on content just like for myself.
And that's like bare bones.
And that's just like not doing anything. That's just still doing a lot of shit myself. So it's like, like to be able to like, I would like to be able to get to that point where it's just like, I could literally have someone like doing a lot of the content for me.
Yeah.
So it's just like, that's kind of one of my goals is like, like keep scaling upwards, you know, to the point where it's just like, that's worth having an expense where it's like you're investing, you know, whether it's like, you know, let's say like $5,000 a month, like, so you're like, someone's like taking over most of your social media, you know what I mean? So it's like, that would be, you know, something I would like to get towards myself because I see like the benefit of it because it's like, making content and editing content and posting and doing all this shit takes up a lot of your time, you know, like that's a lot of time.
So here's the thing, right? Like it takes a lot of time, but that's not what you do. What you do is creating these programs and staying on the edge of like the best workout strategies, the best ways to build muscle, to cut fat, the latest diet, the latest supplement pharmacology. So your attention should be on there. Your attention shouldn't be on average view duration, fucking jump cuts, this, that, latest software updates, AI editing.
Yeah.
So, you know, you hire your weaknesses, you zero in on your strengths. So your strength, because you're doing service, you're not, like if you had a product, you'd be spending the time on building your product. You got to outsource. Like you have to outsource all of those things because it doesn't make any sense that you were going to, unless you love editing, it's a passion of yours. So what do you need to learn Premiere Pro or Vegas or After Effects, or like what do you need to learn graphic design? Just because it's going to dilute the quality of what you really have to do, which is becoming the best at what you do, like in fitness, right?
No, that's so true, man. Like if you're trying to do it all, it's like you're going to be stuck at a certain point where you need help, and it's just like that's something I like realized because it's like I've been using like videographers and that to help with content for like probably the past like five years, I think, and like gradually probably used it more and more. Like I do, you know, record some things myself, but I always like, it's always easier if someone comes like, you know, and you bang out like, whether it's like, you know, you could bang out like 5 different videos, like whatever. So you have some content for the next couple of weeks and then like do the same thing again. That's kind of like what I do now. But it makes a big difference when someone else is, it's kind of like, they're recording it all, they're editing it all, they're just sending it to you and you just have to like post it, you know? That makes it way easier than like trying to do the whole process yourself. And then like you said, you can just focus on getting better at what you do and what you're offering rather than like the busy work like behind the scenes.
Because I'll tell you one thing, bro. People are like, I can't afford an editor. Okay, well you can't. An editor is cheaper than you not working on your craft because you're learning all these things that are distracting you. If you really look at it that way, you're better off getting that editor. And a lot of people don't do that. And a lot of people, they will have like clients and they go and buy the car. You know, my editor, like, well, bro, like for me, what I pay for my personal assistant, all this stuff is like, it's like close to $3,000 a month. You know, the car I can have for $3,000 a month. But what do you see outside? You see an Equinox.
I
could have $3,000 a month. It's a Panamera Turbo. It's an M4. It's really nice car I can get for
you can get a really nice car.
But what do I have? I'd rather have an editor. I'd rather have a virtual assistant that like handles my inboxes, my appointments, all of this stuff, so that I can focus on this and I can focus on making more money. But the temptations are there. They say no to the car, say no to the vacation. Because $3,000 a month is a vacation a month. It's a nice car. It's parties, this, that. But I'm like, no. And because I can't afford to like not have those things because I want to hone my craft. I want to get really good at what I'm doing.
No, that's 100% true, man. Like you gotta make certain, like it comes down to just like sacrifices you make to make sure that you can have those other things like that you need, right? So it's like you just got to budget, you know, certain things like that. And that's where it can become tough. Like it is, if it comes down to like not going on like a vacation or doing other things like that, like if you're in a relationship, that might be hard, but
that's what I'm saying.
sometimes you got to make like those sacrifices, because you're like, hey, like this gives me the ability to scale this up to the point where it's like, you know, I can have, you know, from making that sacrifice, I can have those other things later on, you know, because I put the time in and like had this dedication to like, you know, hire the people I need, you know, to make that long-term goal a thing. And then it's just like, you know, down the road, then you're like, okay, cool. Like I can get the car, I can do this, whatever. But it's like, I'm working towards that, where it's just like, I have it all, you know, structured a certain way, not just, you know, getting it now. And then you're like fucking doing the busy work and just like, you kind of plateau, you know?
Yeah, exactly, bro. So what's in the short future for you right now?
Short future, man. Right now, like I'm just, you know, I'm trying to like work on like revamping my business to have like a little bit more going on, like, you know, like having like different offers than just like straight up coaching, like trying to have like things where it's just like, if people need like a cheaper option, you know, I'm gonna have like an offer that's like something more basic to like make it more affordable for people. And if people want something more you know, all out intensive, you know, like let's say, then like they can have something structured like that. So like kind of like my goal now is to like, you know, have things set up so that it's just like people, you know, there's something for everybody, no matter what they're kind of looking for, you know? So it's just like, you're going to,
for your reach.
Speak to a larger amount of people and just like, you know, do that through like, you know, not only like the marketing aspect, but just like, you know, the whole, like kind of like the whole setup, I guess, like trying to like revamp it. And that's where it's like bringing in other people, you know, to help you, you know, make those changes and like kind of run that system so that you can do it that way, is where I'm looking to do, like, you know, the rest of this year, especially like, cause like I'm not competing. So it's just like, I can put in that extra dedication to like changing things like that.
And it's cool that you're staying in your niche. You're staying, like, you're going to get so good at this. You've done the 10,000 hours. You have the knowledge. You've seen every scenario. You've seen every body type. You've seen the craziest transformations. So like, you're not going to get blindsided because you're being so focused on this.
Well, and exactly, right? And it's just like, you get to a certain point, like when you've been in like the, you know, like any business for a certain amount of time, it's like you can always learn more, but sometimes it's like, you know, depending on what you're trying to do, if you're trying to scale upwards, it's not really like, oh, I need to learn the latest, you know, nutritional trend or something. It's just like, no, I need to learn how to scale my business up. I need to learn the, you know, the things with like marketing or things like that, that's going to help me make my business go further, because it's like, I already know how to help people get in shape, and you already know the, you know, the actual like job side of it, where it's just like, this is what you do, but it's just like, you know, making that appeal to the masses is the difference, right? And being able to structure a certain way so it's doable.
So you're transcending. So every entrepreneur goes through a phase, and this is a growing phase, right? And it's going from working in the business to working on the business. And when you start working on the business to grow it, it's a whole new game. It's like, okay, it's like you got here, you became level 10 working in the business, you're back to level 1.
Yeah, literally, man. Because you're like, I need to, like, you know, you need to expand, and you're like looking into all these things that are like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing with these things.
And everybody wants
like,
your money, and everyone is an expert, and everybody can make you millions.
Like, the amount of DMs I get from these like copywriters and all this nonsense, man, it's insane. Like, I remember like, it kind of chilled out a bit the last little bit, but I like for a period of time, I'm not gonna lie, I would have like 20 to 30 new DMs every day from a copywriter or somebody saying how they can help scale up your business. And I'm like, I don't obviously not gonna buy into that shit. Like, I'm like, if I'm gonna pay for something, it's gonna be somebody like ideally someone I know, and it's like, you see, like, they know how to produce results, whatever, right? Like, you're not gonna just sign up for the first person that drops in your DM saying like, hey, I can, you know, do this for free for you, or do this or that. I'm like, if you're offering free right off the bat, I don't feel like it's going to be good. You know what I mean? Like,
I can't afford you for free. You know, people always have, Logan Paul said this, and I think even Gary Vee or one of these guys too, like, people tell me all the time they will come work here for free, but it's like, that's too expensive, because you're just going to want my time. I'm going to have to sit here, coach you, you're going to pick my brain. You know how much I charge for somebody to pick my brain? Tens of thousands. and you want me to give it to you for free
Yeah.
because you want to be here, it doesn't work that way.
No.
Free is too expensive. Come here with some experience. Come here with some knowledge, and I'll pay you your rate. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, and I and I get it, bro, because 10 year ago I DM Grant, Uncle G, and I'm like, yo, I'll work for you for free. But you know. But like, I get it. Like,
no, and it's true, man.
I would have held him back. You know what I mean?
Because I've had people before where it's just like, you know, they try and I'll have people that like they'll start asking me questions, like, you know, and they're trying to ask you questions to like get some knowledge about things, and I tell them straight up, like, look, like if you have a question or two, like I'm happy to help, but like, you know, and answer a question here and there, but like unless you're paying me, like you're a client, then like, you know, I'm not giving out free information all the time. I'm like, if you want,
you're generous. So I pick your brain a bunch. You always been cool, bro.
Yeah, but like we're friends too, right? Like that's a little different. But like, you know, I'm generous, but it's just like you also know it's just like you're marketing yourself that way too, because like even with your friends, I'm like, if you have that ability to like help your friends, like if they know people, they're like, oh, you need a coach. It's like, oh, I know a guy. Like, you know what I mean? So it's just like if they know you have that knowledge and you're willing to help them a bit for free, whatever, it's still an investment because you're just like, they have their own, you know, their group of people that they associate with. And it's like, if they associate with a lot of people that are, you know, more affluent people, then you're like, that can trickle to my business. And that's where I look at it, where it's just like, you know, if you associate with people like that, like more affluent people and like different groups of people like that, where it's like, you're able to help those people, like not saying like don't associate with people just because they don't make a lot of money, but it's just like the more people you can associate with like that, even if it's just like conversationally and like giving them little tips here and there, it can help like trickle effect into your actual business. But like what I'm referring to is like the, you know, the person that like kind of like is always asking you questions, but they're not really actually going to bring you any business because, you know, they're just trying to pick your brain.
They're time vampires.
Yeah, exactly. So like I had in an instance like recently, I remember I had this guy, he said like he wanted to ask me a list of questions and he wanted to do a phone call. And I was like, okay, if you want to do a phone call, it's going to be $100 and like for 30 minutes. And he was like,
that's reasonable though.
He's like, that's pretty steep. And I was just like, he's like, I only have like 10 questions. And I'm just like, dude, like I charge like people like for coaching usually like, you know, like for $350 a month, let's say. And like they're updating me once a week. And so they get like that update from me once a week and then like maybe a few questions in between. That's $350 a month. So it's just like my actual time put into that, you know, might be like, let's say roughly like 3 hours a month. So it's just like, I'm still charging like at least $100
Yeah, but it's 3 hours, but it took you years to be able to do it
so
in
it's
3
just
hours.
like, if you want to sit there and ask me questions, like all these questions, like I'm not going to do that for free, man. Like, how's that fair to me? Like, I'm not going to go, like, let's say you work at the grocery store. I'm not going to go there and be like, hey man, I want to try this chicken out. Can I take that home, test it out, and then I'll like pay you if it's good?
Yeah.
It's like, what? No. Like, you got to pay for that shit, man. Like, you want it, you got to pay for it. Like, that's just the way it works. And
you know, I always say, man, like there's two things I tell people, man. Like, you know, we have friends, businesses, you know, shout out Flavor Daddy, shout out Marcus, my barber, you, like, it's all this is why I love Ottawa, because
a lot of entrepreneurs like that, man.
like the try, like I don't get this sense of community in Toronto. You know what I mean? Where like, oh yeah, everybody like that comes here on fights, the fight night. I keep every fucking fight night,
bro. It's hard, man.
I get it. Hey, listen, we went over that. I get it.
I know you get it. I know you get it. It's just like, yeah, I gotta like just like pull.
I'm gonna keep asking though, but
yeah, next one, I swear.
But bro, like for example, like I was here. It was like my SMP guy was here. The two artists, my barber, you know, Flavor Daddy. Like everyone there, we help each other in some ways. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whether it's, oh, the guy has the meal prep company, the guy cuts my hair, the guy, he's at construction and he's gonna paint the house, and the other guy does this. That's what I love about Ottawa, man.
No, it's so true. And like speaking of Flavor Daddy, like Ben, man, he's
a beast too.
He's good shit, man. And he's a fucking like, yeah, like he's a beast. He's someone that like puts the work in. Like I see him, you know, like, and I seen him come up in like a short period of time with his business. And like from like basically day one, I was like, you know, like I didn't even know Ben until like he started doing the Flavor Daddy thing, because he gave me a few free meals in the gym one day to try, and I was just like, okay. And then I started getting it, but it was just like one of those things where it's just like, you know, he's not someone that like is like one of my clients or something, but it's just like I feel like it's one of those things where it's just like he's bought some of like my merch that I would sell, and it's just like so I've always been like supportive of his business because like he produces really good food, and it makes my life easier. It's just like I like supporting your buddies that are like doing the same thing you're doing, you know. It's just like they're like helping you, you help them, and it's just like, you know, if you have a circle of people that are like that, we're just like
solid, bro.
You're all building like your business and you're all able to like kind of support each other like that. It's fucking crazy.
All around the same age too.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like, you know, you're all kind of like working towards something. It's just like it's not the exact same thing, obviously, and it just like it enables you to guys, you cover more areas that way too, because you can all like kind of like combine and like bring business to each other, which is it's a cool thing.
But with Flavor Daddy, shout out to him, bro. The food is great, but
Damn good
you know
food,
what it
man.
is with him, bro, and his partner. The guy's a great marketer, like branding.
Yeah.
And I don't think he even knows that. But like, dog, I see all these commercials, and then the Flavor Daddy. This is the first thing. I don't know if it remembers, but I'm like, yo, I want to try it because my old roommate Ben, his name is Ben too.
Yeah.
He says like, yo, everyone's talking about his Flavor Daddy. So I'm like, saw it. I'm like, I messaged him like, yo, the branding is crazy. The logo, the color palettes, the way you do he's very analytical, and I'm like, you're good. The meals are great, top notch. You know, for what it is, which is not supposed to taste good. It's like supposed to be boring.
Healthy food.
Healthy food. He actually makes it the most enjoyable healthy food I've had. And I've had like meal prep companies in Ottawa and fucking in Toronto, and his food is really good. But for me, it was like, yo, the branding of this guy is really, really dope. I like it a lot. So anyway, hopefully he'll be one of the guests in the podcast. But dog, I tell you, seeing you and him at 613, I feel, bro, so small. But it's so motivating, dog. Like it's fucking dope.
Man, especially when you see people that's like, you know, it's like me and Ben, like, you know, we're both busy too, right? So it's just like we're able to like make the time and get that training, and it's just like I love seeing him at the gym, because I know for a period of time, like when he just opened up that new shop and everything, like he was going to the gym at like 6 a.m. or like fucking 10 p.m. and shit, and like he couldn't like, you know, train when he wanted to, and he did that for like a few months till it like kind of got to the point where it's operating and he can just kind of dip and like go to the gym. And I was just like, man, like that's next level dedication, because it's like I understand that just from myself, where it's like, you know, I'm gonna be coaching people, I'm training people in person, and it's just like I gotta fit my own workout in. It's like sometimes like I either gotta go crazy early or crazy late, and you're just like, fuck it, I gotta do it though, right? And like
Bad Hombres,
like,
bro.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta have mad respect for Ben, and like, you know, the work he puts in. That's why I love seeing like him at the gym and you know, like things like that. And it's like, it's always like, and I like training with him sometimes too, right?
Yeah, you guys,
like,
I don't.
it's a good fucking, it's a good time. Man,
I haven't trained with you, but I've trained with him, and he's
willing to push, man. Like that's the one thing, man. Like Ben doesn't like compete in bodybuilding by any means, but like
he's a strong
he'll
guy,
fucking
though.
push hard in the gym, man. Like I've trained with him, had some crazy good workouts. So
He's got crazy strength.
yeah, that's the thing. Is like guys, like people don't realize it's just like a lot of people, like I find, that are very successful with their businesses and they're entrepreneurs, they take their fitness pretty seriously too. I feel like that's a big thing, because a lot of people realize like fitness is a good outlet, but it also gives you like structure to the rest of your life, because you're just like, I'm focusing on my health so that way I can be better at my business. I have more energy, I have more this, blah, blah, blah. You're healthier, you can do more, like, and things like that too. And I feel like a lot of people, even if like their primary reason to do it isn't like a competitive whatever reason, like competing in a sport or something like that, it's like they still understand the benefit of it, doing it, whether it's just like, you know, visually, where it's just like someone looks at someone like me, and like even if I'm not necessarily a competitive bodybuilder, they're gonna trust me more just because I'm in shape, right?
Yeah. Oh,
they're gonna look
100%.
at me and be like, fuck yeah, like I want this guy to
Nothing
train me.
matters when you're not in shape, bro.
You know?
I think I texted you this.
Fucking so true, man. Like, cause like people, like even like clients I work with, it's like they get in better shape, and it's just like suddenly like they get better business. Like even if they're a realtor or something, like
bro,
people are gonna trust you more if you're in shape than if you're fucking fat. Like no offense,
It is. I'm telling Joe, and because you know I was going through my personal stuff the last probably since I don't know, last year. I put on weight, man. You know, relationship weight, cortisol levels were high. I was stressed out. I you know, things were happening. So I was like, and then I realized, and I think I texted you, man. Like I'm already down like close to 15 pounds, and nothing matters if you're not in shape. So like, what do I mean by that? Okay, you pull up in a Ferrari, you get up, you're like way out of shape, you look like shit. Oh, okay, so I can beat the fuck out of you and I can outrun you, and your girl probably thinks your girl wants me. She doesn't have genuine desire for you. It's just the car. Okay, so
the car and the money.
The car and so it doesn't matter. Or it's not just the car, it's everything. Nothing matters if you're not in shape. Oh, you have a hot girl, but you're not in shape. Oh, she wants you for the money.
Yeah.
Or you have a Hugo Boss. Dog, I can put Coach Little Joe in a fucking Joe Walmart t-shirt and he'll get the eyeballs, not you. Everything is that, like, nothing matters if you're not in shape. That's why I realized. That's why I'm so focused on that, bro. Like, I'm doing martial arts 4 times a week. You helping me out with some stuff. I've been going to 613 with Flava. I'm probably gonna get a membership there, bro. I have 4 gym memberships right now. I have Anytime. I have.
That was crazy, man.
Yo, Anytime, Gracie Baja, Extreme Couture, and now it's gonna be 613. But yo, I'm all in on this. You watched.
Nah, man, that's what you got to be though. It's like, and it's so true. Like I've seen that many times. It's just like you said, it's just like, yeah, you can have this, or you can have like the car, you can have the money, whatever. But it's just like, yeah, if you're not in shape, man, it's not the complete. You want to be like the complete package, where it's just everything, like that's gonna reflect on everything you do. You know, like if you're letting yourself go, like, and you don't have to be like, you know, friggin' like shredded or something. No, like that. You just have to be in shape. But just like, you gotta be in shape. You gotta take care of yourself and actually look presentable. Yeah. And it makes a huge difference, I think, like to do that, because like not only does it just visually like you look better, but it's just like you have more confidence at that too, you know.
And you project,
and like you're making the change in the right direction. Like everybody goes through periods, you know, where it's just like, whether it's relationship wise or just life in general, it's just like, it can take you down a way where it's just like, yeah, you put on weight, or you're just like not focused on, you know, the health and fitness side of things, and you kind of lose sight of that. But like when you bring it back in, you're just like, shit, like this is gonna benefit me in so many other ways than just like looking better, feeling better, whatever. Like girls are gonna look at me, it's like, yo man, this is so much more than that. And it's crazy how some people don't realize that, because it's like, if you're doing something for just like a vain, selfish reason of just like, I want to look a certain way, it's like, yeah, you might stick with it. But it's just like, if you're doing it because you're like, this is going to benefit every part of my life, yeah, that's a different motivation, and that's when you definitely stick with it. And that's like, for me with competing, I'm like, the motivation changed from like very selfish reasons and like more vain reasons when I was younger to like, okay, this is part of my business now. So I look at this differently when I'm going to the gym than like when I was younger. I'm like, when I was younger, I'm just like, you know, oh, I really want to go pro, blah, blah, blah. So it's just like, you're so focused on that, but like, you don't realize like the potential of like what you could really be doing it for. And like when you get like, now that I'm older and I'm like in my young, like 30s, whatever, it's like you realize like, wow, man, like the motivation has totally changed. Yeah. But I feel like I'm more motivated doing what I'm doing and doing more than when I was younger. Yeah. Yeah. On that note, bro, this was really good, man. Hopefully it's like it's the second podcast. This second podcast we've done together. The first one we've done face to face, even though we were both in Ottawa last time, but it was on Zoom. So production value's gone up. Yeah, man, this is wicked. This is a sick production. And then we got that video coming where we're gonna put you against some jiu-jitsu guys. See how you're gonna hold up. Yeah, it's gonna be fun, man. I just like, I hope I don't. Well, I know I'm not gonna. I obviously would get my ass whooped. I just hope I don't get like my ass actually whooped. I just want them to like, just like, yo, bro. They're nervous too, bro. Like the guy's like, hey, this is a big guy. He's not gonna try it. I'm like, no. Nah, he's man, like, I'm not stupid, man. Because I know if I did, like, I wouldn't do that because I have no ego in it at all. Yeah. That's another thing. Is just like I'm really into like the like Stoic philosophy. So I'm like, you know, well, you know who you are, so you don't. The ego comes from not knowing who your value. Exactly. Right? So it's just like ego at the door, man. I'm here to like learn and just like, you know, have fun and try something I've never really actually tried. And you're even confident about your shortfalls or your insecurities. You're like, yeah, bro, you can beat the fuck out of me. Literally, man. I'm like, I know this guy's like fucking half my weight and is could whoop my ass, no problem. I'm like, completely like, you know, it's just like, be a student, you know, like trying to learn from them, if anything, not like go in there thinking like, oh fuck, I'm the big guy, you know. It's like, nah, you ain't shit, man. This ain't your world. Like Bradley Martyn. Yeah, fuck. Yeah, man. Yeah, 100%. That no, bro, you're a bad hombre, dog. That was good, bro. Man. Good stuff, bro.
So dark, can't see a thing. I hear a song of the broken beat. Give me nickel, give me me die. Give me dough, I'll give you smile.